Hey Blades fans, welcome back to Hertz Arena for another edition of the Everblades pregame show, previewing the January 10th clash against the Savannah Ghost Pirates. Will Henschel alongside Jake Maurice. Jake, welcome into 2024, man. First home game of the new year. Florida started the year on a bit of a road trek, but now back home in Hertz Arena for the first time in the new year.
Yeah, Florida with points in all three games in 2024 so far on the road. Now coming back home, the first of 5 straight games against the Savannah Ghost Pirates. These teams, they've only played once before, but they're going to be really familiar with each other by the time we get to the end of this month.
Yeah, it's going to be a good couple of games, and especially because Savannah on a bit of a tear. Although they're kind of lower in the standings in the South Division, taking points in each of their last 4 games, a 3-0-1 record across that stretch. So Savannah, definitely a team you don't want to take lightly going into these matchups.
No, but Florida's not either. I mean, they have points in 6 of their last 7 games coming into this one tonight, so it's going to make for some really exciting hockey. Savannah, they're a team that thrives on their speed. They love to get things going off of the rush. Their power play hasn't been as good as it was last year, but when they get it going, they've got a lot of talent on that group, and it can certainly be a factor for them in a win. So Florida, they've got to be ready for a high-octane match tonight. The perfect kind of game to start off with Hertz Arena at 2024.
Jake, we mentioned it a little earlier, but Florida, New Year's Eve on the road into 3 games to start the new year, going 2-1-1 in that stretch. So not a perfect road trip, but nothing to sneeze at either, getting points in 3 of those games. But certainly some progress to be made in this home stretch against a Savannah team that's been limping a little bit in this season, but 3 home games, 5 straight games against the same opponent. Definitely want to take advantage of these matchups.
I mean, yeah, right now Savannah is 6 points behind Florida in the standing. So if you win all of these games, you can basically knock Savannah out of your vision for the South Division standings this year, leave them behind, and then just worry about the teams in front of you. On the other side of things, all of a sudden Savannah would become a very real threat to Florida's playoff hopes if they were able to get the better of the Blades in this 5-game series. So it's a really big swing, an underratedly huge couple of weeks here for the Florida Everblades, and Savannah, of course, too. They know the situation where if they were to come out on the wrong side of this series against the Everblades, they're going to be in a really tough spot trying to make it into the playoffs for the first time in their young history. But, of course, it all starts tonight, and you want to set the tone early, and you're building your first home game of 2024. This is where Florida needs to have one of their best starts of the season, I feel.
Not the first meeting of the season between the Ghost Pirates and the Everblades. These two teams went at it on December 22nd, really the final complete game before the holiday break. Florida taking a 4-2 victory in Georgia. So, Jake, not a whole lot of history to go off of and not a lot of advanced scouting you can do against these two teams, but there's going to be plenty of that by the end of the week.
Yeah, this is the team that Florida has seen the least in the South Division, and that's changing real quick over the next couple of weeks. So, particularly for tonight's game, you don't have a whole ton to lean on, but you do have some video evidence. Unfortunately for Florida, their main factor in the win in December, Oliver Chow, who had a goal and 2 assists in that match, he's not here tonight for Florida, which is a tough loss for the Blades for sure. He's been one of the most consistent contributors all season long offensively for Florida. So other guys are just going to have to step up, whether it's the Blades all-star Nathan Steos, who's on that top line where Chow was, and Steos, he's going to be going to Savannah a little earlier than everyone else next week for the ECHL All-Star Classic on Monday, January 15th. Whether it's a guy like him, other returners Joe Pendenzo, or some of the newer guys, somebody's just got to be ready to fill Chow's shoes from that game. And that's how Florida's been winning some of their games recently, is just one guy stepping up. Last Wednesday it was Bobo Carpenter with the hat trick. Tonight, someone else could have a chance to be the hero and get this series started off right for Florida.
An opportunity to go 2-0 against the Savannah Ghost Pirates tonight, but Jake, I think it's about that time we get into the Griffith Group of Downing Fry Realty, 3 keys to the game.
Well, you want to set the tone early, as I said. This is the first of 5 straight meetings. It's your first home game in the new year. You need to come out with a fast start and establish how you want to play. Set your standard for your group early in action tonight. Also, power play is going to be key. Florida with 2 power play goals in that 4-2 win against Savannah. They were also perfect on the PK, so you got to make sure you're strong on your special teams tonight. And then finally, you got to defend your own blue line. Savannah, as I mentioned earlier, they love to get things going with speed, off rush opportunities, odd man chances into the attacking zone. You slow them down at your own blue line, and you make it a lot harder for Savannah to get goals the way they like.
Savannah points in their past 4 games. Florida, the first games of 2024. Puck drop between the Everblades and the Ghost Pirates right around the corner.